Have you ever lain awake at night trying to find a position that doesn't make your hip throb? You shift to your back, to your side, you even stack pillows. And still, that deep ache returns. For many, it feels like the beginning of dependence. That moment you start to wonder if pain is just part of aging, but it isn't, and I'll prove it to you. I'm Dr. Samuel Hartley, a clinical nutritionist and former Harvard medical researcher. For 25 years, I've helped thousands of older adults regain mobility they thought they had lost forever. Not with injections or painkillers, but by restoring the body's own healing rhythm. Now, here's the truth that most people, and even many doctors, overlook. The pain you feel on the outside of your hip at night. It's rarely bursitis. In fact, a 2022 study from the Journal of Geriatric Orthopedics found that fewer than 1 in 10 seniors with nighttime hip pain had any true inflammation of the bursa. The real issue runs deeper. It's inside the tendons, the thick bands of collagen that anchor your muscles to bone. Over time, these tendons lose their elasticity and blood flow. They grow tired, frayed, almost like old ropes losing their weave. And when you lie on your side, those weakened tendons are pressed between bone and mattress. They protest, they swell, and they wake you up. The more you stretch them, the weaker they become. The more you rest, the stiffer they get. But here's the good news. That process isn't permanent. Your tendons can relearn how to heal if you know how to signal them correctly. In a moment, I'll show you the single standing movement that can rebuild tendon strength and ease hip pain naturally, without stretching, without medication, and without giving up your independence. Because freedom, the ability to move, to rise, to walk without bracing yourself, that's not a luxury at 70. It's your birthright. And it starts with one habit you can do in less than 2 minutes a day. When I first began studying hip pain in my older patients, one pattern stood out. The pain didn't start with movement. It started with stillness. That puzzled me. Pain that appears while you rest often means something deeper than surface inflammation. What we eventually discovered was simple, yet remarkable. After about age 60, your body produces less type 1 collagen, the strong, flexible protein that gives tendons their resilience. Think of collagen as the steel cables inside a suspension bridge. When the cables weaken, the bridge still stands, but every gust of wind strains it a little more. That's exactly what happens to your tendons over time. But collagen decline isn't the only issue. The blood vessels that feed your hip tendons, tiny capillaries about the width of a human hair, start to narrow with age. And when circulation drops, oxygen delivery drops with it. The tendons don't get the repair materials they need after daily wear. Your body tries to compensate by stiffening the area, laying down extra fibers like scar tissue. But those fibers don't stretch or absorb pressure the way they used to. Now, here's where things get interesting. A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that gluteal tendons in older adults contained up to 45% less organized collagen structure than in younger individuals. But with the right stimulus, the cells responsible for repair, called fibroblasts, can still rebuild new collagen. That stimulus isn't medication, it's movement, but the right kind of movement. Most people stretch, thinking they're loosening tight muscles, when in fact they're tugging on tendons that are already fragile. That's like pulling on a frayed rope. It doesn't strengthen it, it unravels it faster. What the tendon truly responds to is gentle, controlled tension, the kind that triggers blood flow without friction. Standing activation exercises do exactly that. When you stand and lift your leg just slightly, the outer gluteal muscle, the gluteus medius, contracts in a way that pumps fresh blood into the tendon sheath. That oxygen surge tells your fibroblasts, wake up, repair mode on. If you've ever wondered why massage or heat brings temporary relief, it's for the same reason: circulation. But movement-based circulation lasts longer. It rewires how the tendon handles pressure night after night. And the best part? These changes don't require youthful recovery. Even at 70 or 80, your body still listens to those micro signals. It still wants to heal. You simply have to send the right message. In a moment, I'll walk you through the 3 everyday mistakes that make this condition worse, and the single movement that retrains your hips to sleep pain-free again. But first, pause for a second. Have you ever noticed that the pain flares most on the nights you sit longer during the day? That's not coincidence, that's circulation, whispering that it's time to move. Most people I meet who struggle with outer hip pain are not lazy. They stretch, they walk. Some even do yoga faithfully. But they're unknowingly feeding the problem with 3 simple habits that seem helpful, yet quietly tear the tendon fibers night after night. Let's start with the first. Mistake number 1, stretching the glutes. It feels intuitive, right? You feel tightness on your hip, so you stretch. But when your tendon is already inflamed or weakened, stretching is like pulling on a sore rubber band. Each tug causes micro tears. Instead of increasing mobility, you're fraying the very fibers that hold the hip steady. A 2020 paper from the European Journal of Orthopedic Rehabilitation found that static gluteal stretches increase tendon stress by up to 35% in patients with existing tendinopathy. So, if you've been doing that figure 4 stretch before bed, stop. Your tendons don't need length. They need strength through oxygen. Mistake number 2, leaning on one hip or crossing legs. When you stand with one hip pushed out or cross your legs while sitting, you're cutting off blood flow to the outer gluteal region. That's like clamping a garden hose and expecting water to nourish your plants. The muscle weakens, circulation slows, and pressure builds exactly where the tendon attaches. This small posture habit, repeated dozens of times a day, silently trains your hip to collapse under its own weight at night. So, the first step in healing is awareness. Each time you catch yourself standing unevenly, bring both feet flat to the ground. Feel your body centered. Let your weight distribute evenly. That's the foundation of tendon repair, balance before strength. Mistake number 3, the clam exercise. It's popular, even prescribed in some physical therapy routines. But for seniors with tendon degeneration, the clam can be a trap. It forces the tendon to slide repetitively over the greater trochanter, the bony ridge at the side of your hip. Each repetition grinds at already sensitive tissue. The result? More irritation, more inflammation, more sleepless nights. If you've ever finished that exercise and felt burning at your outer hip, that was your body saying, enough. The healing habit. Standing pelvic activation. Now, let's flip the script. Instead of stretching, we strengthen, gently, precisely, while standing. Here's what I teach my patients. Stand on the leg that hurts. Bend your other knee slightly, resting your hands on a wall for balance. Bring that free knee out to the side, just a few inches, and pause. Then, without leaning your torso, use your side hip muscles to lift that knee a little higher by tilting your pelvis upward. Hold for 2 seconds, breathe, then lower slowly. It's a 3-part motion. Outward arrow, upward tilt arrow, controlled return. This small movement recruits the gluteus medius, the key stabilizer for side-lying support. Each repetition draws fresh blood into the tendon sheath, delivers oxygen, and activates fibroblasts to rebuild collagen. Aim for 2 to 10 repetitions, 3 times per week. Stop as soon as you feel a mild burn or fatigue. That's the healing threshold, not a punishment. Research from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, 2021, showed that standing activation produced 37% faster tendon recovery compared to lying exercises. Why? Because it mimics the way your hips actually function, upright, balancing, stabilizing your body. And here's something remarkable. Many seniors report not only less pain, but also more confidence walking, climbing stairs, even sleeping deeper, because the body finally feels aligned again. And the best part? You don't need to wait months. For most, relief begins within 2 weeks. And every step you regain isn't just strength, it's independence. Because each morning you rise without pain, you send a message to your body: I'm still here, still capable, still moving forward. When you begin rebuilding a tendon, your body doesn't just need movement, it needs materials. Think of exercise as the construction worker and nutrition as the bricks. Without both, the structure never holds. Let's start with what every healing tendon quietly asks for: collagen support. 1. Feed the builders. Your tendons are made of roughly 80% collagen, and collagen needs 2 raw materials: glycine and vitamin C. Without enough vitamin C, your body can't link collagen fibers properly. Without glycine, the strands remain fragile. That's why I often tell my patients, a 2-minute exercise builds the scaffolding, but your breakfast builds the bricks. Here's a simple way to apply it. Within 30 minutes after your exercise, have a small protein source, like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a hard-boiled egg. Add a vitamin C-rich food, such as half an orange, a few strawberries, or bell pepper slices. If you prefer plant-based options, try chia pudding or a smoothie with pea protein and berries. A 2021 study in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Health Science found that seniors who paired collagen-boosting nutrients with mild resistance work saw twice the tendon recovery rate compared to exercise alone. The science is simple. Movement triggers the fibroblasts. Nutrition gives them fuel. 2. Respect the healing window. After every session of standing pelvic activation, your body enters a 3-hour collagen synthesis window. During this time, circulation improves, fibroblasts multiply, and repair begins. If you can, use that window wisely. Avoid prolonged sitting. Walk lightly around the house to keep blood flow active. Drink water. Hydration keeps tendons supple. Your body heals best when it's gently in motion, not frozen in stillness. So, if you've just finished your hip exercise, think of the next few hours as your golden repair period. It's not about pushing harder. It's about staying awake to your body's rhythm. 3. Reframe the mindset. Healing isn't only physical, it's psychological. Many seniors, after years of pain, start to lose faith in their own body. They move cautiously, afraid of making things worse. But this is where something beautiful happens. Every time you stand, balance, and lift your knee, even if it's only an inch, you're retraining your nervous system to trust again. That trust creates neurological harmony between your brain and your joints. The pain signal begins to quiet, not because of magic, but because your body recognizes, we are safe now. A 2020 review in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that seniors who paired mindful movement with targeted strength training showed significant reductions in chronic pain perception and better balanced confidence. So the next time you do that small exercise, whisper to yourself, this is not weakness leaving my body. This is strength returning. And maybe tonight, when you lie down, you'll notice something subtle. The ache may not be gone, but it's gentler. That's the body learning your new language of healing. Don't rush it. Every night of progress, no matter how small, is a victory over time itself. You've just learned what most people never hear from their doctors. That nighttime hip pain isn't a sentence, it's a signal. It's your body asking for strength, for oxygen, for rhythm again. And now you know how to answer. You stop stretching the pain. You stop crossing your legs. You stop leaning on one side of your life. Instead, you build it back, slowly, steadily, with that one standing habit. 2 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and a little faith in your body's memory. Because the truth is, your body hasn't forgotten how to heal. It's simply been waiting for the right invitation. And when you give it that, when you feed it collagen, when you move it with purpose, when you treat your rest as part of recovery, something remarkable happens. The pain fades, the fear lifts, and the quiet confidence you thought you'd lost begins to return. You start walking differently, not cautiously, but curiously. You get out of bed without bracing yourself. You stand at the window in the morning and realize this body still belongs to you. That's not just physical freedom. That's independence reborn. So, tonight before you lie down, I want you to pause for a moment. Place a hand on the side of your hip, and instead of frustration, say, thank you. Thank you for carrying you through decades of steps, of work, of love. Now, it's your turn to carry it, with care. If this message spoke to you, share it in the comments below. Someone out there is scrolling in the dark, searching for hope, and your words might be the bridge they need. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to Healthy Aging Hub, because tomorrow's video will take this even further. 3 morning movements that restore balance and joint freedom. After 60 small steps, big returns. Remember, this isn't medical advice. It's an invitation to discuss with your healthcare provider and to believe once more that healing isn't past tense. It's happening right now. And if you listen closely, you might even feel it, that gentle rhythm beneath your hand, the body saying, I'm still here.